Welcome to episode 421 of Salcedo Paranormal, and tonight I am covering paranormal news. And you can always find all episodes of the show, along with links to social media and other ways to contact me at the podcast page, and that is salcedoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions or stories of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. Happy to either read those or have you join me on the show to talk about them on a later episode. Thank you all for listening, whether you're here for the live stream, especially those tonight who are here, as I'm recording 2 episodes at one time here, or if you listen to the podcast or YouTube feeds. Or if you catch the show on the Troubled Minds radio network, KUAP, digital broadcasting, and you can find and hear 2 episodes, replays of the show, every night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, right before Troubled Minds radio comes on. And I want to thank, as always, Michael Strange, host of Troubled Minds Radio, and Liam Martin, or Rohan, as he's called, host of the Exile Minds podcast, for producing the show, making the music that you hear at the beginning and the end, every episode that you hear on the station. So, if you'd like to support the show, there are some different ways to do that. You can always share the show with others, rate and review the show on your podcast platform of choice, and or you can you can find, I've written some paranormal fiction and nonfiction books you can find on Amazon. And also, if you'd like to support the show directly, I have a few different ways to do that. PayPal, Venmo, and Patreon as well now. And including either in July or August, there will be exclusive Patreon content, at least 1 episode a month of the True Paranormal Stories from the Web episodes. Basically, I'll do one of those once a month, maybe more eventually, but to start off just once. Once per month, 1 episode per month, if I can talk and not repeat anymore, will be on Patreon only. So just a way for you all to support the show and then also get some extra content out of it. And of course, the reason I always mention these things is there are expenses for doing the show, both in research material and in equipment, and also starting this year, and hopefully from now on, I will be every year I will be attending the Mid-Michigan Paracon. That's in Mount Pleasant, and I always include the link to the Paracon in the episode description now, so you all can check it out and figure out if you want to go to that. But yeah, so all the ways to support the show are there, just so that if you want to and you're able, you can do so, and that will help me with all these things that I have going on for the show. Yeah, I think that covers everything. This is the show that I didn't get to do on Monday night, Paranormal News Show. So I already have all the stories set aside for it, and I just decided might as well do this show right after the last show I recorded just a few minutes ago. So I think that takes care of everything. And but yeah, definitely looking forward to anyone if you're able and can afford to make it out that way to that Paracon. I will be there for the whole weekend. I've already basically have rides sort of set up. My family is amazing. I really appreciate them. And so I'll be staying there for overnight on Saturday. So yeah, if anyone listening does go out there, let me know, and maybe we can meet while we're there. So all right, so getting to the stories here. So I've had these now for a little while. So but this first one is from ladbible.com, and it says, let's see, I gotta scroll up. Okay, the title reads, paranormal investigators hear ghosts, in quotation marks there, saying, again, quotation marks, "Are we friends?" And Spirit Box hotel recording. And, of course, there's a lot of quotation marks in there. I might as well just let them out. But anyway, so basically this is about a paranormal investigation that happened at a location in the UK. Oh, let's see here. This is from... Okay. And this is... The location is called Castle Bromwich Hall, which was built between 1557 and 1585. So that's over 400, almost 500 years old. Said to be home to numerous ghosts, according to the article here. And so this is about this paranormal investigation group called Afterlife Paranormal. And there are videos and images in the article you can check out, so definitely recommend that if you like. And says that they, while they were there this one night, they had many things going on, including one image that they found of an apparition that appeared to be of someone, basically didn't go into detail there, but a woman wearing a dress there. So it says that they also recorded a door seemingly opening up on command. And let's see here. So it says that the investigation group says that they had the door opening into the boardroom on its own. They caught that, apparently. They tried to debunk that with experimenting with it, trying to set up ways that could do that, and they couldn't debunk it or couldn't explain it away. So yeah, it was an interesting thing there. Now, the main thing that this article is about, excuse me, is excuse me, this Spirit Box recording. Now, Spirit Box, for anyone that hasn't looked into this, is basically a radio device that sweeps through all the different, basically the radio spectrum or band at different speeds. You can adjust the speed sometimes and do different things, but it's basically always moving across the radio frequencies. And so the idea is that using the energy and sort of using the static as well, I believe, the sounds to help manifest, you can get messages, voices coming through over those different frequencies. I've heard some interesting things coming from those devices over the years. I don't totally discount it, but also it makes me wonder because it is scanning across all these different radio frequencies. And if you get the right sort of set of circumstances, you might be able to get a word. But the phrase that it says here in the article, let me see, I think it was, are we friends? That's interesting, especially if there was some kind of a, if it was said like as if it was a question, or phrased as if it was a question, or the tone and the way the voice came through. But so yeah, they were doing this session with this device, asking questions and waiting for responses, and they got this voice on the device, and then on the recorders, that said, "Are we friends?" And moments later, it says there's a door that starts to open, apparently by itself. At the same time, that Charlie, one of the investigators, it says here, was saying, "I want to be your friend." And so that is odd, the timing of that. So it talks about a lot of things that happened there. Let's see here. Apparently they caught AVPs saying different names. Apparently at one point it even said Charlie's first name, Charlie, but it sort of said it broken up in a way that was English, but it sounded like it was an accent. Someone with an accent. I wonder what accent they're talking about there, if they could tell. But and so yeah, it's really neat. I always enjoy finding or reading about these investigations, and what they find. So, and of course, they mentioned there that they've been to different sites like similar to that hall before, but nothing ever happens. So I like that they mentioned that. Sometimes you go to places and nothing happens. So, but then you go to other places, other times, and you get what they're talking about in this article. So, neat one there. I always like to hear about that and share those kinds of articles when I find them. So, this next one is from a-z-animals.com. That's hard to say. And it says, discover the longest tunnel in Massachusetts. Again, hello to Derek whenever you hear this. And this is about, let's see here. Yeah. Okay. This is about a place called the Hoosac Tunnel, Hoosac Tunnel. I have heard about this before. It's said to be the longest tunnel in the state, and it goes for 25,081 feet. That's how long it is. And only has one track. So let's see here. So yeah. Okay. So and it says it's about 24 feet wide. Numbers him messed up there. It says that the tunnel is supposed to be used for slow and steady traffic, going at the speed of about 25 miles per hour. Then it starts to talk about. It mentions that it's an active tunnel that's been around and been operated for over a century. And it's in western Massachusetts. So, let's see here. Apparently through the Hoosac Range. So, mountain range, I'm guessing. And it says that this project, at the time it was done, cost over $21 million to construct. And that started in 1851. But I'm guessing it was that really took many, so 22 years to complete. That's an amazing amount of money if you think about that. I'm wondering if that's all in that span of those first 20, the main construction, or if they're talking about all throughout time, because if they're just talking about that first initial main construction, that is a ton of money if you think about how much money has changed and how much that must be, how much that must have been at the time. It doesn't say if they're talking about 21 million in today's money or money back then. But either way, however you want to convert that, still amazing. Mentions that it's had its fair share of problems in construction and even after, and says that there were accidents, of course, while constructing and operating the tunnel. So, and this is, if you think about it, it makes sense. You're trying to make a hole in a mountain without the mountain coming down on you. So it says during construction, there were 195 injuries and 135 verified deaths. So that's a lot of energy happening there. So, the first, let me see here. No, I'm sorry. One of the worst things that happened in there was the explosion in the central shaft. And this happened when there was basically a mix of let's see here. There was a candle and then other fumes from the construction, and it caused the shaft to collapse, and that's like an air shaft for ventilation purposes, I'm guessing. So I'm gonna skip through a lot of that here because that's just kind of a little bit too dark. But basically, the idea is many people passed away, died while they were trying to get the tunnel finished and trying to operate it. So it says that there's, let's see here, it's considered one of the most haunted spots in the United States. And we all know how that can work, but let's see here. It says that stories started around about this tunnel as far as paranormal activity as early as its first days of construction. So people around the area mentioned seeing mysterious figures wandering near the tunnel's construction. It says, according to these locals, the figures were dressed as miners. So it says that workers and travelers that have used the tunnel have seen mysterious flashing lights, heard other sounds of people's voices. But it mentions, of course, that even with all this going on, it's not a good idea to just wander into the tunnel to try to investigate it. And because it is still active, people are driving through it. Also, they mention here in this article that there are animals that can be dangerous to people as well around the area. Bobcats, so other creatures apparently. So it's actually no, I think the bobcat's only one. They're talking about all the different animals that live in the area, but the bobcat seems to be the only one that they mentioned. Beavers and squirrels. I don't think I've heard too many reports of beavers and squirrels going after anyone usually. But so that's basically where the article ends as far as what we're looking into here. So I think I'll end that article there and let you all check out the rest of it. And go to one last article here in the last about 7 minutes we have on this episode. I always like these articles, especially. I really have to say that I'm glad that websites like ancient-origins.net, which is where this is from, that they do cover the paranormal in different ways. And some of the articles that they put out, even though a lot of them are more just archaeological, they focus on the what's happening nowadays with finding and excavating and finding out things all about the world, but they also cover mythology and folklore and the paranormal, the reports of sort of stories about the paranormal from throughout time. And this one article here, the title says Haunted Tales, exploring 4 of the most famous ancient ghost stories. And I believe I've shared, I know they do this once in a while. I've seen a member sharing an article similar to this. But still, I'd like to share them every time these come out. So it mentions the the first one they talk about here is the White Lady of the Tower of London. Anne Boleyn says, and it says Anne Boleyn or a false thief. So apparently they're trying to decide, or they're not sure who this apparition is. Now, just to talk about the different places around the UK and London, there are entire TV series, paranormal sort of TV series about these locations, both in the UK, both in England and then I believe Ireland. There are entire series that talk about all these locations and all the stories of paranormal activity there. And, of course, the Tower of London is one of these sites that is mentioned in a lot of cases. So, let me see here. Get back to the article. Okay, so, I lost my spot. So, okay, this is okay, so it says that this apparition is believed to haunt the Chapel of St. Peter Advincula. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Says, according to ancient legend, the White Lady was once once a woman that was wrongly accused of a crime and executed within the tower. So, but then I've also heard of that story of that location. That it's so they're basically they're in this article they're saying that there are multiple people that could be this apparition. Apparently, okay, so just the two. There's this idea that it's this possible thief or woman that was falsely accused as being a thief, or it is, of course, the one that I've heard about more, which is the ghost of Anne Boleyn, who was executed in the tower in 1536 and was known for wearing white. So, and that's Anne Boleyn is a historical figure. I'm not seeing a lot. Let's see here. Not seeing a lot on who she is exactly, but if you look up that name, let me see how you spell it real quick. Okay, so it's Anne, A-N-N-E, as you would think it would be. Well, I mean, there's A-N, but it's A-N-N-E. And then Boleyn is B-O-L-E-Y-N. And again, I've heard the name mentioned in historical terms in the area. So it says that the White Lady is described as serene and beautiful, has long hair, and is wandering around the tower, the area, in a long white gown. Many people say that they've seen her kneeling in the chapel, at the chapel altar, and some people have reported sensing calmness or comfort from her presence. So, says that, let's see here. Okay. Mentions that despite the lack of historical evidence supporting the existence of the White Lady, of course, they say, the legend is still around and really popular. And even today, people report seeing this figure wandering the halls. So, let's see here. I'm just going to mention the other sightings here, just so you all can check them out, and you can all check this article out when you get there. And the second one they mention is Roman Emperor Hadrian's ghostly lover, and Antinous. Not sure if I'm saying that right. Let's see here. The next one is this one I've heard about before. The title of this section is Counting Plates in the Afterlife. The Legend of, Okiku's Ghost. And the last one here is The Curse of the Flying Dutchman and Its Endless Voyage. So, ghost ship there for you all. So I think that's where I'm going to end it for today. And you all can check out that article. I always include all the articles and the links in all the episode descriptions. So, and it's in Discord as well. Thank you all for listening and for being here. And I will talk to you all on the next episode of Salcedo Paranormal. Take care.